Welcome all. I hope the screen is visible to all of you. Here we are introducing to unit number 6, that is Q. In order to complete some of the practicals, we desperately need to unit number 6. So it is nothing but Q. What it defines, we say that Q is nothing but a structure and it is a first in first out organization of memory. Here it simply says that anything which demands the resource first will be allocated first. So real life examples of such queue is admission queue, railway or bus ticket reservation queue, movie theater queue, entering a particular hall into a sequence. So the first person who is in the front of the queue is allocated resources, and the last person who comes late will be allocated resources when he becomes first. So whoever joins later will be added to the rear end, and deletion from the queue is conducted at the front of the queue. So there are two parameters. One is the front and another is the rear in the queue. Some applications, as far as computation is concerned, scheduling of tasks in OS. For example, multiple tasks. For example, you may be downloading something from the internet, some web contents, and at the same time, your computer is printing some contents on a printer, and much more tasks can be parallelized. But it should be scheduled as at which moment is to be executed. Suppose we want the first task to be executed first, then the best way is to implement in queue. So we say that it is FIFO based scheduling. FIFO is first in first out, whereas its opposite, that is stack. That is stack is nothing but LIFO, that is last in first out. Now this stack and queue both can be used in graph traversal algorithms which we will be studying in advanced data structures, but they are applicable there. Therefore, this topic is related to data structure and it is further used in advanced data structure also. Nextly, to allocate some resources basis. For example, if your printer is printing something, suppose document 1, and you want to send document 2 to the printer, so it can be scheduled in a queue, but a resource. So that resource can be allocated to a particular program to generate the output. So that is also, we call it as printing spooler or printing queue. Another example, suppose you create your own file server to download some videos. So the first request you placed must be in the download folder. So if you maintain a queue of what to be downloaded, sent to a particular client on request. So the client request can be sequenced using a queue, and based on the availability that data or file requested can be served. So another important work is job scheduling. Using queue. So other than OS, we'll take the example of job scheduling, that is the Pizza Hut or Pizza example today in practicals. So how this job scheduling can be done using queue, we'll be studying that. That is abstract data type, how and what are the contents required to create assignment on queue. So first, queues can be represented using arrays or linked list. The first point, it is can be represented using arrays or linked list. Used when we don't know the size of the queue, and if you want to use dynamic memory allocation, we use linked list. Else we can use arrays. First is create, second is queue full, next is queue empty, from NQ and DQ. So NQ means adding elements on the queue. The elements are added from front to rear, always added at the rear end or the tail end. Whereas concern, we retrieve the element from the first position and that element is deleted. So DQ is nothing but a pop-like option is from the front of the queue, and finally we use the display. Two other parameters references. One is the front and rear can act as a pointer in queue, which will enable us to maintain the status of the queue. Now let us stimulate. Yes, participants able to view the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now we can see that there is a data which is arriving a particular time. So over here, the time is a continuous series. And we take a unit as seconds, suppose. Simply means that in first second, we get the data 10. In second, we get the data 20. Seconds, we have recorded the data. And we have to maintain this into a queue. So the algorithm is very simple. Initially, set front equal to rear equal to -1. We'll get the queue empty status as true because there will be nothing on the queue. So at step 1, that is time 1, we get the data 10. So we issue an instruction that is NQ and the data is passed as 10. Whenever we use NQ, your rear is incremented. So we get rear plus plus. See the stimulation with respect to the contents on the queue, step 1. So when you issue step 1, you can see rear is equal to 0 and the value that was inserted on the queue and now queue empty status will become false. Instead of it is true, queue empty will become false. We find that there is arrival of data 20, so we enqueue 20 and rear plus plus. Step 2, we find that rear is equal to 1 and 20 is updated in the queue. 30. So we say that after updating 30, rear becomes 2 and queue empty is false now. Next step will be NQ 40. So after NQ 40, rear is incremented by 1, rear becomes 3. NQ 50. So after issuing 50, rear is equal to if you observe, if you define the queue size as 6, then inserting one more element will result into queue full error. So it will give queue full error if your queue size is 6. Simulation purpose. Now we have simulated inserting contents on the queue. Now we'll see how we can retrieve the contents using DQ. Is related to DQ with the status rear is equal to 5 false, and whenever we issue DQ, your front is 1. So what it will return first? It will return 0, and you can see front position is updated in the queue. Front is equal to 0. Then again, if you use DQ again, it will return and front will become 1. Next, third step, if you again issue DQ, it will return 30, but the rear is constant at 5. So again we'll issue DQ. You see that front is incremented and it is returned 40. Again we issue DQ and it will return 50. Now the last step DQ, and you can see that rear is equal to 5, front is incremented, and now current equal to rear, and it will return as queue empty is equal to true. So after that, if you issue DQ, it will generate an error that queue is empty, you cannot retrieve anything. Able to analyze the significance of queue as a ADT. Just a simple stimulation of it. Just to revise the structure, size of the queue equal to 10. It can be defined as an array. So int queue of size, which is 10. We set the front element and rear as a reference equal to -1. And for queue empty, we set front equal to rear, then queue is empty. When the queue is full, equal to size -1. That is, rear size is 10, then the queue is full. And NQ data, inserting elements on the queue. DQ is to get elements from the front of the queue, and data is deleted from the queue once it is retrieved. So this was as far as queue data structure has been concerned. We have various variants of queue. the simple FIFO queue, which we have discussed now. Another is circular queue. So what happens in circular queue? If we have the queue full and then some job has been completed. So after completing the jobs from the queue, naturally some of the queue cells will be empty. Circular queue, it begins from the start of the queue, and it completes the cycle again and again until there is completed. So we have a formula for that, how to check the queue full position. If rare plus 1, the formula is rare plus 1 modulus size equal to front, then the queue is full. So that should be waiting over there until some contents of the queue will be empty. So we'll stimulate this in the pizza parlor example. Another variant is DQs. DQs is nothing but where we have addition and deletion and insert contents not only at the rear but at the front end also. Deletion operation can be achieved at the front end and as well as back or the rear position of the queue. We have two variants in DQ. One is input restricted DQ, output restricted DQ, and the most important is priority queue. Taking a simple example, there is a queue in a temple. So everybody will be there in the queue and nobody will able to get the what you can say the God's vision until we reach to the front of the queue. So suppose a VIP comes over there and he want to take the vision or he has to worship the God, then what he'll do? There should be some priority. So priority queue is designed in such a way that he can assign some priority to be completed earlier. So this priority queue is very interesting and has very much in real life. So it is generally used for scheduling also in operating systems. For example, if there is some interrupts the signal, then your OS will take an immediate action. A simplest example of this is antivirus. If you find there is a virus attack into your computer system, then antivirus will assign a particular job immediately, priority level, to scan your system. Yes, participants. Okay, so sometimes there is virus attack and your antivirus pop up immediately and it starts scanning. So this is the way what can say priority queues or assigning priority to jobs. We will study all this in our workshop topic number 6. So this were as per as theory is been concerned. Let us start with the practicals. Just give me 2 minutes. I'll schedule the practical for you. Okay, directly we will go for the assignment with your linked list. So, okay, I'll share the screen with you. Now looking at your assignments on queue, we will have the first is E1. We can read the problem statement. Queues are frequently used in computer programming. Example is creating a job queue by an operating system. So if the operating system does not use priority, so our process in our then write a C++ program to stimulate job queue function to add job and delete job. That is adding the contents on the queue and removing the contents from the queue. So this is just creating a queue and it is of type priority queue if you wish to assign a priority. So that priority queue is optional. E2, that is a double-ended queue. List in which addition and deletion may be at the both the ends and obtain data representation mapping a DQ into one-dimensional array. Now we have to write a C++ program to implement DQ. So that is E2. Now the third one is the pizza parlor that is accepting M orders. So M is nothing but the size of the queue. If the size of the queue is 100, the pizza parlor is capable of serving 100 orders and they have that what we can say pizza making capacity that in one day they can accept only. So we say orders are served in first come first basis. Once order is placed, you cannot cancel it. That means the order once placed in the queue serviced, but they cannot be cancelled. So we have to write a C++ program to stimulate circular queue using array. So today we will discuss upon this. Let us stimulate. Yes, participants, is the code visible to you? Okay. Now see, as the data structure has been concerned, we have defined the size. So as defined, size is 3. So here 3 is nothing but number of orders, that is M. Number of orders to 10, 20, 30, 100, whatever. But in this simulation we are taking only 3. So int q size, and we have defined the front equal to -1, -1. Now first ADT function, that is empty. So what is the is empty condition? Front equal to var plus 1, q is empty. If it is empty, it will return 1, else it will return 0. Size equal to front. So this formula is very important as far as q full is condition. So it will return true if q is full, else it will return 0. Now NQ first check whether the queue is full or not. If it is not full, then it will send the front value. If it is -1, make it to 0. Executed only once when the front end data will be updated, and rar plus plus. So rar is incremented by 1. Now simple, we are adding the elements at the rar end data, and when we say that, we get inserted data, and if queue is full, it will write cannot insert data. Two conditions. One is what to do if queue is not full, and what to do if queue is full. So that is completed in NQ. Let us see DQ. DQ is reading contents from the queue. So we are reading from the front of the queue. So you can see over here, if the queue is not empty, read from the queue, the queue front, and increase front. So over here, whenever we read the contents from the queue, we increase the front by 1 position. So now front plus plus, and you can see it is returning T. Let us stimulate. First is in the main program, NQ10, NQ20, NQ30, NQ40. So what will be the result of this first 4 NQs? Yes, participants, can you assume? Since we have said the size of the queue as 3, we cannot insert 4 elements, get an output as queue full. So after running, so over here inserting 40 will fail, so therefore it will say cannot insert 40. Run the program and then we'll see what has been achieved by us. Let us run and understand. So after compiling and running the program, it says NQ10, we get output as inserted 10. Use NQ20, it gives us inserted 20. When we use NQ30, read 30. But when we use NQ40, it says queue is full. Output cannot insert 40. Why this happened? Because we have taken the queue size as 3 and not 4 full. So whenever we issue DQ, we get a front is equal to 1 and it has retrieved 10. Now the position of the front was empty, and when you issue now DQ40, it will be successful to inserted 40. बोला मॅडम, एक मिनिट. आपण हे खाली लॉगिन दिलेत ना, माझेच लॉगिन आयडी दिलेत का? lecture मध्ये. Hello. Yes, everyone. Able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
NQ40 was failed, but when we issue DQ, you can find there was one element removed from the queue, and the queue was one space empty. So next DQ, you see that this 40 is now inserted on the queue. You can say that it cannot insert due to queue full, but once you issue DQ, that means the job is completed, empty, and new job can be issued to the queue. So after that, you can insert new value, that is 40. Now let us check further DQ. So you can see after DQ we get 20 retrieve from it. Then after next you get from it, and after even last, so you can see that 40 was also retrieved from the queue. Then we issue the last DQ, you find that the queue is empty. Yes, participants. So this is nothing but your pizza parlor example. So this 10, 20, 30 is nothing but your order number code, we can say. So 10 is a product code for making a type of plain pizza. Second, 20 will be the code for some magnetic pizza or vegetable pizza, for some chicken pizza, and so on. So like this, codes can be given for a product, and based on the order queued. Okay, so I give you this code today into the example of pizza parlor. Everything is scheduled over here, and if the queue is full, then it waits. Again, once the order is completed, the queue is now having some empty slots, and you can again issue new jobs to the queue, and that is the significance of circular queue. Until all the elements from the queue are popped up, or until the job is completed. So once the job is completed, you will get a remark, that is, and your program can halt. Yes, participants, are you able to understand the concept of pizza parlor using circular queue? Okay, so I'll share the code for this. You can test it immediately using online compilers also, and you can use your internal C++ compiler, that is GCC Turbo C, with the code. Yes, everyone got the code in the chat box. So you can copy the contents and try to implement it as a order of pizza code. So that will be code for various pizzas and give that code there is an order. Okay, so that job will be scheduled. You can increase the size of the queue from 3 to 10. It will work fine. Fine, everyone. Any query on the today's practical? So I'll share the remaining code within just upcoming Monday or Tuesday, and we'll complete all the assignments. Okay, fine. As there is some terminate the session over here, since first year MBA and all admissions are due currently working on, we cannot continue the session too much time. I have to give the time over there also. So I recommend all of you to practice the code, and if there is any query, let me know. So our first session code is C001. 1 second. Just give me a minute. Okay. 0234. This is for FDS, where we have conducted that Q presentation. C004. हाँ hello lecture. We terminate the session over here. Urgent work. You can continue with the practicals. Thank you.